With the console wars effectively being over realistically, we've entered a new era where we're entering the handheld market. And the handheld market's launch for the new console wars is the ROG Xbox Ally X, priced at $1,000 for the X version and $600 for the regular version, which is honestly rather atrocious. I think it's dead on arrival, and it makes me question even the future of the console wars or the console generation period, because who is spending $1,000 on a handheld you're streaming games to mostly, whereas you could buy a good PC for $1,000 and play games at far better quality and clarity? But it's a whole issue of why these handhelds, for example, the Steam Deck, which is about $500 for the cheapest version, or like 450, I think is the exact cheapest version, all the way up to 700. We have the ROG Ally and all these other handhelds, and we know PlayStation's working on their own handheld. The Switch 2 is about $500, give or take. All these devices are getting more and more expensive, and it's a concerning thing for the future generation of like consoles, because it might signify the death of the console generation if handhelds and the future consoles are going to keep getting pricier and pricier and more expensive. And I know the economy, tariffs, and all of that stuff. I get it, but who is this really for?
Apparently, it's for a decent amount of people because the thing sold out. The ROG allies apparently are being sold a lot pre-order wise, but I mean, I think we can all guess relatively that it's probably scalpers. Like the scalpers have been, they've had a break. They've had a decent break since the Xbox Series X and the PS5 came out. They're coming back. I promise you, they're coming back.
But would they even really make their money on it? Because to scalp a product, the issue is we already know that Xbox said from the beginning that their own official one, which comes out 2026 or 2027, is going to be made to order. I'm not sure if that's like every 100 orders they make a new one, every 1,000 orders they make a new batch. Like, I'm not sure how the Xbox's official version is going to be. But I assume the ROG Xbox Ally X probably doesn't have a huge stock. I don't think they made 10 million consoles. I think they probably made 10,000,
For sure.
25K, probably 100K at most for being realistic.
But that's kind of the only answer I can have to your question. Who is this for? Who's buying it? I don't know anyone who'd buy it, so how would it have been selling out so fast? I don't. It's good. It's a good console, but not for the price point. Because from this article on PC Gamer, I read that the chipset in the $600 version is only like a tiny bit better, if not similar to the Steam Deck one already.
Hmm.
That's bad. And I just now read that the 1800 megahertz versus the 2900 megahertz dedicated graphic speed in the $1,000 version is a pretty significant downgrade. And it's just like, why would you not buy a Steam Deck? The only difference is this one might be able to get your Xbox library and Steam on it. Is the only difference between this and the Steam Deck, the $600 version at least, that I can possibly think of. So back to your question, who is this for? I don't know.
It's not even that. Like, the most curious factor of this is I expected this to be better. Like for the price point, I was expecting like a very beefy, very chunky handheld console that was meant to run everything, be cool in your hands, all of that stuff. And it just feels, without being disrespectful, almost like a mockery of a proper handheld. I honestly would have preferred they didn't even make this and they just made like a PSP but Xbox version.
It,
Like,
it
it just feels like a waste.
from what I see, it can run anything. It can't, or at least anything like off of an official platform. Nothing like these big sort of like weird AA projects that look really realistic or simulations almost.
I got you. I
Ignoring
got you.
those kinds of things, like how Arma used to destroy PCs, or like
Hmm.
Crisis way back in the day used to destroy PCs. Nothing like that. But other than that specific area of gaming, the big one does look like it can run anything, which is
Right,
a
but for
decent.
$1,000.
Yeah, but any computer that can run anything like that, it would cost $1,000 just about. The
Right,
thing is,
but you get a full PC to
yes,
use for more than just gaming. This is the Windows gaming OS, if I remember correctly.
it
It's
is Windows
still
11.
the right, but it's designed and built in a way for Windows gaming. Like, the whole
I see.
UI and it's the Windows gaming OS. It's still Windows 11, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean the thing is, it
Like,
is meeting the product itself is meeting the market standards for pricing,
no, it's
but it's
not.
not meeting the market standards
Steam
for
Deck is
usage.
$500 and it does the exact same. This is twelve
Well, that was
percent
before
better for an
inflation.
extra $500.
That was before inflation, though. The Steam Deck was.
Okay, with the Steam Deck, I can still buy a new one for $500.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that technically speaking, the parts might, in quotation marks, you can't see the camera, but technically speaking, it might meet the market part standards, but does not meet the consumer standard. The whole point of this thing feels like it's kind of redundant in terms of why wouldn't you just get a PC, like you said.
Pretty much.
So the existence of it is confusing.
Now, I do hope that the ROG Xbox Ally X is like a test thing where they only made like 10 or 15K. You know, the scalpers make their money, the super consumers enjoy their product, you know, people that have a lot of spare cash and income. For them, I hope it's a good product. It does look like to be a good product, but for the average consumer, I see this as being a flop. I know plenty of people that buy every console. You know, I'm not super wealthy, but I'm middle class, right? I'm doing well for myself. And the people around me, if they want something, they'll buy it. $800, $600, I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna buy it. I don't know a single person who's just going to buy this. It doesn't cross anyone's crosshair in the slightest bit.
I can't
It
think of
doesn't
one
even
either.
register for people.
Apparently, the original ROG Ally X is actually about $1,400. I thought it was the same price, but apparently this is actually cheaper than the official version. I guess that's just under the backing of Microsoft. I'm sure there's some kind of detail here I'm missing, but I'm looking at it and it appears that we're actually getting a deal, in a manner of speaking.
I looked up the ROG Ally from 2023 and it's about $700. So
No, the
650,
normal Ally. This is the
700.
X
I don't
variant.
know.
This is the X variant. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're saying the original X.
Yes, but it was still kind
Now,
of an
to be fair,
experimental
a
thing.
lot of people, a lot of people that have held the Xbox ROG Ally X have said that it's a really good thing to hold. It feels good. It plays good. It is good. It looks like, it feels like it was designed for gaming, and it feels really good in the hand and how it plays, right? Especially with Game Pass, it's a lot of value for your money if you're just paying $15 a month to play so effectively every game. I will say though, I do think as a start to the handheld market, it's pretty terrible. I hope the official Xbox handheld, and I hope it's literally just called Xbox handheld. I hope they don't give it some weird goofy name like the Xbox 360,
And
spin it backwards, bop it, drop it,
everyone's on a riot
twist
against the
the
Xbox's
console.
names.
The names are terrible.
I know they're not very
Xbox,
good, but man,
Xbox
people act like it's
360, Xbox One S, Xbox Series S, and then you have the Xbox One X and Xbox Series X. The next console is hopefully just called the Xbox PC because we know they're going down the PC route for the final console. They haven't said it's the final console, but let's be real here.
yeah,
It's in quotation marks. It's implied that the
it should
next
be.
generation of consoles is the last one. And I expect the Xbox PC is probably going to be the beginning of Windows official gaming PCs you can buy directly from the Xbox store. So like every 3 or 4 years, you buy an updated Xbox PC, right? They just replace the components with like slightly better components as, you know, the market varies. And then it just
But actually
becomes
get
like
a
a
PC.
modern thing of like, yeah, every 3 to 6 years, you upgrade to the next Xbox PC. And I assume this is mostly for like the people that aren't very tech savvy or PC savvy, who don't want to really build their own PC or buy parts and replace parts. They just every 3 to 6 years buy a new Xbox PC or a new PlayStation PC.
That's the
But in
only
regards to the
marketing.
handheld market,
Yeah, that's the only
sorry,
marketing
go ahead.
gimmick I can see for this particular thing. Is it's like, oh, you get a PC, but it's a lot more streamlined, a lot more friendly to beginner people. But that still doesn't really make sense. Like my brother in Christ, you're saying you don't know how to work Windows. Just get a stinking PC. Like that's one of my big pet peeve excuses I hear from people. Oh, PCs are confusing. Dude, what era are you living in? Don't stop saying that. Just learn how to log on to the Windows and open an internet browser and you're pretty much done. That's really all you got to
You
do.
would be surprised. You would truly
I
be
know.
surprised. I
I
can
know, but still.
I can like testify that there are certain individuals who are 30, 40 or older who genuinely cannot work a proper PC, who struggle to work their phones. It's
Oh yeah, I know my
there's
grandparents don't know how to use their phones. I swear.
But getting back onto the console, in the handheld, I do think this is like a testing. I think this is mostly a ROG thing. I expect the official Xbox version because Microsoft even said that they're just making to order. They're not really going to be like mass producing millions because they're not getting that market. They're in the software market now. I expect the Xbox PC is going to be like 700 to $1,000. I expect the Xbox handheld is going to be 400 to 700, and I expect the PlayStation PC to be in the same ballpark. I expect PlayStation is going to probably sell at a slight loss just to beat Windows, like the PC, Xbox the first time. But I expect it'll be like 600 to $1,000, and then the PlayStation handheld, whatever that's called, because we know they're working on one. I'm not sure if it's gonna be the same way as like it's gonna be a PS5 in your hand, or if it's gonna be an actual PSP. Because the Xbox thing is a full Xbox in your hand. It's a full PC in your hand, right? We know that right now.
Yeah,
There were rumors of an Xbox official handheld, but I don't think that's working anymore. I don't think that's a real product that's coming.
I
Mainly
wouldn't think
because
so.
I don't think Xbox is working on any handheld only games because something would have leaked by now. With PlayStation, most of the launch titles are going to be exclusives. And I'm gonna be real, I think it's gonna run a bunch of indie games like Silk Song and stuff like that on the PlayStation, PSP, or whatever you want to call it.
It should, and that's kind of the
Um,
only real difference between what used to be with Nintendo, who used to have some of the best handhelds. Man, those things were awesome. Like I cannot.
mhm,
Some of my favorite games of all time are on some of those handhelds. They were fantastic,
mhm.
but they were so specific in what they were doing. They prioritized exclusives for that hardware. It wasn't just exclusives ported to it. They made the games for that hardware, and that's why it did so well. You had no competition back then. Back then, the most competition you had was Angry Birds on your grandma's iPad or like a tablet of some sort. That was mobile gaming back in like when did the DS come out? 2000 like 4 ish, something like that. Uh, I don't know. But whenever the DS came out, the mobile gaming market was nothing like it is now. Nintendo dominated that market, and the power in the exclusives and the great business model, and they were actually affordable back then, the DS and things like that were.
Mhm.
Now, it's just okay, you're just playing games on a different device now. You own the games already. You own Game Pass. And now
Do
you're
you
just
remember what the
handheld.
3DS was on launch? Do you remember what the price was?
Uh, I don't know. I wasn't actually including that one a whole lot because I didn't do a whole lot with my 2DS.
It's only 350.
It was
The
only 350.
3DS launched at 250.
350
What
or
do you think
250?
the PS Vita launched at? No, 250.
250? Jeez.
Yeah,
The
the 3DS was
Vita
250.
wasn't the
What
Vita
do you think the Vita was?
wasn't it 200?
250. Yeah,
Ah,
literally.
wow.
Like
Like it
they weren't
adjusted.
launching these at super high prices. It was genuinely relatively cheap. Now, if I do for inflation, right? So let's do 2013 to 2025 inflation calculator. 350 in today's day and age,
Oh wow,
adjusted to inflation.
it's almost exact half point.
And what what are you actually getting for 350? A
You were
handshake
getting
and a fuck off.
was that the which one was the bad one? The PSP or the
The PS
Vita?
Vita was the bad one because they put
Oh,
like
okay.
the you need the PlayStation exclusive hard the I forget the name of it because I haven't used one in so long. The little hard drive thing you plugged in, not the hard drive,
Oh
the chip,
yeah,
the
I know what
memory
you're
chip.
talking about. Yeah.
You had to get the PlayStation exclusive memory chip, and it was a PS Vita exclusive, so it only worked on a PS Vita, and they were pricey. They weren't cheap. But the PS Vita had some amazing games. The 3DS had some amazing games. Right now, there is no exclusive handheld game. The Switch 2 is not a handheld. I'm sure they're gonna do a Switch 2 Lite at some point because you know how there's the Switch and the Switch Lite, and there's the Switch 2. I'm sure they'll do a Switch 2 Lite, but there's not gonna be any exclusive Switch 2 Lite games. They're gonna be the same games on the Switch 2.
That'd be weird.
There is no more handhelds. So when PlayStation makes a handheld, is it gonna be a PSP 2, PSP Vita 2, whatever they call it, or is it just going to be PlayStation 6 handheld?
Oh, hear me out. You just gave me a. What if PlayStation uses the opportunity of a PSP2 to reignite their exclusive dominance over Microsoft? Because if it's a whole new set of hardware, they could make exclusives for it and actually give people a reason to play the PSP instead of their Xbox handheld. Because the Xbox handheld, again, you might as well just get a laptop. There's no real point to having it. Now, I don't know if that would actually
The issue
work, but it
there,
would have to be
the,
that'd be a
the
lot
issue
of
there
money.
is, will they actually sell enough millions? Right. So right now, put in perspective, PlayStation 5 sales.
The Portal sold. I'm convinced 100% that
The
people would buy
Portal
the
sold about
PSP.
4 to 5 million. 4 to 5 million. But the PlayStation 5 has sold about 80.3 million units as of Q1 2025. So we're not sure what it is at right now because they haven't really done the full calculation yet. And we'll probably find out early 2026. I expect for all of this year, maybe 6, 7 million more consoles. So probably like 87, 88 million like total sales. If they're launching the the PSP2, it would have to be complete new sales that compete with the PS6. Now, the difference is if the PlayStation PC comes with the PSP 2 as a bundle,
Oh,
$700, $300, $1,000 compared to Xbox PC, which is $1,000 flat.
hmm.
you might actually have a point there where people are willing to do it. And especially a lot of kids, keep in mind, don't really use PCs. PC gaming is a much smaller fraction of the market compared to handhelds. An actual PlayStation 2, PSP2, could actually do numbers as a proper handheld for the huge kid market. And especially as everything is becoming more and more digital, with tablets and phones on the rise for kids, a proper PSP2 could do genuine huge numbers. It could actually go very viral. I could see it actually eating into PlayStation 6 sales. But again, if that was going to work, Nintendo would have done it.
I don't
But
know about
Nintendo
the.
also doesn't need to because the Nintendo 2, the Switch 2 itself, and the Switch itself was also a handheld at the same time as being a console.
A relatively underpowered one, but yeah. I mean, it is good. The Switch 2 is. The Switch 2 is kind of its own beast at this point.
Mhm.
Microsoft and PlayStation are essentially back to competing in a whole different way. It's just that it sounds like the console wars are dying, but they're not. Now the PSP2 would have to have a whole new set of specs. It'd have to be designed for exclusive to be made on it, which is why
Mhm.
I feel like they would have had to have planned this out sooner than what they currently have time to do. So I don't think that's what's
Mhm.
going to happen. I think it's just going to be another handheld
Absolutely not.
or PC. That would be cool though.
I think, yeah.
That would be
I
cool
think it's
though.
going to be like a PlayStation Portal 2, but instead of it being like a streaming only thing, it's like an official like
Yeah.
PlayStation 6 like on the go or PlayStation 5 on the go.
Like imagine
Kind of like
exclusive
the
God of War
Xbox Rogue
games.
Ally X.
Like God of
Yeah,
War or
that
Spider
would
Man
be
just on
amazing.
mobile. That'd be
But I
cool.
feel like it would have been leaked already.
Yeah,
I feel
probably.
like they would have to send dev kits to other companies right now so that they can start developing games right now. Because keep in mind, like
Nintendo.
if I look at the 3DS launch titles, I'm gonna list out the 3DS launch titles: Professor Layton, Pilot Wings, Nintendogs and Cats, Steel Diver, and Rayman 3D.
What?
And then there's a bunch of others. There was
Literally all
like,
I recognized was
Combat of
Rayman.
Giants, Lego Star Wars 3, Madden NFL Football, The Sims 3, Super Monkey, Street Fighter 4, Tom Clancy's Recon, Shadow Wars. And Nintendo 3DS could also play Nintendo DS games as well at the same time.
Yeah, that was like half the reason I got one. Because I didn't have to move the whole
But there's no
ecosystems.
backwards compatibility for right now because there's no backwards game to compatible with your new launch. So I don't know what the direction
It's all
I
online
don't truly
now.
know what direction it's going, but it is going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with the handheld market because the console market's over. I don't know if there's going to be a PC war because I don't think you really can do much of a PC war. It's just going to be
Yeah.
whichever one has the better parts for the better price, and that's pretty much it.
That just boils
I
down
don't think there's
to.
any fanboyism left.
I was gonna say that would just boil down to, hey, you don't have to build your own, buy your favorite brand of PC, and that's just kind of
Pretty
weird.
much it.
Just a gnat in my face.
So a handheld war could be reignited. I just don't see it actually happening. I don't think anybody's willing to spend the money. And I don't see a lot of third-party companies willing to actually invest in like separate studios to make games for effectively a mobile platform or a, handheld platform.
It'll be short lived at the very least. So even though the
Pretty
handheld
much.
market is going to be devastating to all of our wallets, it's coming. Which handheld would you actually prefer if we did have a new war of another Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam Deck? Are you just gonna stick with the Steam Deck? Leave a comment, let us know what you're thinking. Thank y'all for watching. Do all the YouTube stuff. See you later. I'm Jaden. This is Evan Hart. Yeet.